Great dreams. Visionary wet dreams, democracy's wet dreams, for the worker and the whore, each and all loved by him, and in his stead, and as he's busy writing poems, all these others, the common men, push and come. I loved him. The words, the dreams, don't believe them, don't love them, don't obey the program written into the poem, a series of orders from the high commander of pain, bare the throat. Only he was shy. A 19th century man. They didn't say it outright then. He said he wanted everyone to have them in the poems. He wanted to be held, too, the lover who needs you, your compassion, a hint of recognition from you, a tenderness from your heart, personal and singular. The pitiful readers celebrate the lyric and practice the program, the underlying communication, the orders couched in language as orgasmic as the acts he didn't specifically say. He was lover, demanding lover and father. He spread his seed everywhere, over continents, as if his ejaculation were the essence of love, as if he reproduced himself each time. With his hand he made giants, as if we were all his creatures, as if his sperm had washed over the whole world and he begat us. And now he'd take us, another maniac patriarch, a chip off the old block, the epic drama of the vast procession, as if it were an orgy of brotherly love, kind, tender, fraternité, as if taking everyone were gentle, virile but magnanimous, a charity from body to body, soul to soul. None were exempt. He was the poet of inclusion. You could learn there were no limits, though you might not know the meaning until after they had touched you, all of them, his magnificent masses, each one. You could stay as innocent, or nearly, as the great gray poet himself until you'd done the program. And then you'd be garbage somewhere, your body trash without the dignity of a body bag, something thrown out, dumped somewhere, sticky, the tissue torn. There's trauma to the tissue, says the doctor, detached, not particularly interested. But the tissue is flesh of a human, and the trauma is injury of a human. The delicate lining is flesh, the interior lining of the throat is flesh, not meant for invasion, assault. Flesh lines the anus. It's already limbed with cracks and bleeding sores. Mortal fools bleed there. We are dying all the time. Love's intense, and there will be great jagged rips, a searing pain, burns, bleeds. There are fistfuls of blood, valleys of injury too wide and too deep to heal, and the shit comes out like a child bathed in blood, and there's fire for the sake of pain, because the lover, he likes it. Annihilation is how I will love them. You'll just be loved to death. Tears like cuts, tears, the watery things. It wasn't called the Civil War or Vietnam. It wasn't a war poets decried in lyrics, apocalyptic or austere. They couldn't even see the death or the wounded soldier or the evil of invasion. A genocidal policy, if I remember it right. It's hard to remember. Love is celebrated. Party time. Hang them from the rafters, the loved ones. Meat, nice and raw, after the dogs clawed them to pieces, chewed their bones, bloody, dirty pieces, strung out on street corners or locked up in the house. One whole human being was never lost in all of history or all of time, or not so a poet could see it or use fine words to say it. Walt sings to cover up the crimes, says it's love enough. An art's an alibi. I didn't do it. I'm an artist, or I did do it, but it's art. Because I'm an artist. We do art, not rape. I did it beautiful. I arranged the pieces so aesthetic, so divine, and them that love art also did not do it. I support art. Walt could sing all right, obscuring the formal truth, as if a woman had an analogous throat for song, then they could stuff it down. Sing then, darling. The poems were formal lies, lies of form, bedrock lies, as if the throat, pure but incarnate, was for singing in this universal humanity we have here, this democracy of love for one and all, but they stuff it down. Then try singing. Sing, America. Sing. I saw this Lovelace girl. I'm walking in Times Square, going through the trash cans for food. I roam now, every day, all the time, days, nights. I don't need sleep. I don't ever sleep. I'm there, digging through the slop for some edible things, but not vegetables, because I never liked vegetables, and there's standards you have to keep, as to your own particular tastes. I am searching for my dog, my precious friend, on every city street, in every alley, in every hole they got here, whereas usually there's people, in every shooting gallery, in every pimp's hallway, in every abandoned building in this city. I am searching, because she is my precious friend, but so far I have not found her. It is a quest I am on, like in fables and stories, seeking her, and if my heart is pure, I will find her. I remember Gawain and Galahad, and I try to survive the many trials necessary before finding her, and I am hoping she wasn't taken to wicked evil ones, that she is protected by some good magic, so she won't be hurt or malnourished or used bad, treated mean, locked up or starved or kicked. I'm hoping there's a person, half magic, who will have regard for her, and after I've done all the trials and tribulations, she will come back to me in dark wood. I've got pain in my throat. Some boy tore it up. I rasp, I barely talk, it's an ugly sound. Some boy killed it as if it were some small animal he had to maim to death, an enemy he had to kill by special method. You rip it up, and it bleeds, the small thing dies slow. It's a small, tight passage, good for fun. They like it because it's tight. It hugs, there's no give, the muscles don't stretch. At some point the muscles tear, and it must be spectacular. You could push a baby through. They'd probably think it'd be good for a laugh. Have some slasher do it cesarean like with this Lovelace girl where they made a joke with her. It's for her, of course, always for her, a joke, but a friendly one, for her, so she can have a good time. I went in, I saw them ram it down, big men banging, mean shoving, and I don't know why she ain't dead. They kept her smiling. If it's in a film, you have to smile. I wanted to see if it hurt, like with me. She smiled, but with film they edit, like in Hollywood. She had black and blue marks all over her legs and her thighs, big ones, and she smiled. I don't know why we always smile. I myself smile. I can remember smiling. Like the smile on a skeleton. You don't ever want them to think they did nothing wrong, so you smile. Or you don't want them to think there's something wrong with you, so you smile, because there's likely to be some kind of pain coming after you, if there's something wrong with you. They hit you to make it right, or you want them to be pleased, so you smile, or you want them to leave, so you smile, or you were just crapping in your pants afraid, so you smile, and even after you shit from fear, you keep smiling. They film it. You smile. Sometimes a man offers me money. I laugh, a hoarse, ugly laugh, quite mad. My throat's in ribbons. Just hanging streaks of meat. You can feel it all loose, all cut loose or ripped loose in pieces as if it's kind of like a piece of steak cut to be sautéed, but someone forgot and left it out, so there's maggots on it and it's green, rotted out, all crawling. Some of them offers me money, and I make him sorry. I prefer the garbage in the trash cans, frankly. It's cleaner. This walking human stuff I don't have no room in my heart for. They're not hygienic. I'm old. I'm pretty old. I can't take the chance of getting cancer or something from them. I think they give it to you with how they look at you. So I hide as best I can under newspapers or under coats or under trash I pick up. My hair is silver, dirty. I remember when I was different, and these legs were silk, and my breasts were silk, but now there's sores and blood and scars, and I'm green inside sometimes. If I cut myself, something green comes out, as if I'm getting green blood, which I never heard of before, but they keep things from you. It could be that if you get so many bad cuts, body and soul, your blood changes from scarlet to a dank green, an awful green, some chartreuse, some Irish, but mostly it's morbid, a rotting green. It's a sad story. I'm an old-fashioned human being who had a few dreams. I liked books and would have enjoyed a cup of coffee with Camus in my younger days at a cafe in Paris. Outside, we'd watch the people walk by, and I would have explained that his ideas about suicide were in some sense naive, ahistorical, that no philosopher could afford to ignore incest, or, as I would have it, a story of a man, and remain credible. I wanted a pretty whisper, by which I mean a lover's whisper, by which I mean that I could say sweet things in a man's ear and he'd be thrilled and kind. I'd whisper, and it'd be like making love, an embrace that would chill his blood and boil it. His skin'd be wild, all nerves, all smitten. It'd be my mark on him, a gentle mark, but no one'd match it. Just one whisper, the kind that makes you shiver, body and soul, and it'd just brush over his ear. I wanted hips you could balance the weight of the world on, and I'd shake and it'd move. In Tanzania it'd rumble. I wanted some words, of beauty, of power, of truth, simple words, ones you could write down to say some things that happened in a simple way, but the words didn't exist, and I couldn't make them up, or I wasn't smart enough to find them, or the parts of them I had or found got tangled up because I couldn't remember. A lot disappeared. You'd figure it would be impressed on you if it was bad enough or hard enough, but if there's nothing but fire, it's hard to remember some particular flame on some particular day, and I lived in fire, the element, a Dresden, metaphysically speaking, a condition, a circumstance in time, a tangential to space. I stepped out into fire, fire burns memory clean, or the heart, it burns the heart clean, or there's scorched earth, the dead geography burned bare. I stepped out into fire, or its aftermath, burnt earth, dry, hard place. I was born in blood, and I stepped out into fire, and I burned. A girl, burning. The flesh becomes translucent, and the bones show through the fire. The cement was hot, as if flames grew in it, trees of fire. It was hot where they threw you down, hot and orange. How am I supposed to remember which flame on which day, or what his name was, or how he did it, or what he said, or why, if I ever knew? I don't remember knowing, or even if, at some point really, even if I lived in urban flame. There was the flat earth for us, gray, hard cement, and it burned. I saw pictures of woods and books. We had great flames stretching up into the sky and swaying, moving, dancing. The heat melted the air. We had burning hearts and arid hearts, girls' bodies burning, boys hot, chasing us through the forest of flame, pushing us down, and we burned. And then there were surreal flames, the ones we superimposed on reality, the atomic flames on the way, coming soon at a theater near you, the dread fire that could never be put out once it was ignited. I saw it, simple, in front of my eyes. There never was a chance. I lived in the flames, and the flames were a ghostly wash of orange and red, as if an eternal fire mixed with blood, were the paint and a great storm, the brush. I lived in the ordinary fire. Whatever made them follow you and push you down, you'd feel the heat searing. You didn't need to see the flame. It was more as if he had orange and burning hands a mile high. I burned, the skin peeled off, it deformed you. The fire boils you. You melt and blister, then I'd try to write it down. The flames leaping off the cement, the embodiment of the lover. But I don't know what to call it, and it hurt. But past what they will let you say, any of them, I don't know what to call it. I couldn't find the words. There were always adults saying, no, there is no fire, and no, there are no flames, and asking the life or death question. You're still a virgin, aren't you? Which you would be forever, poor fool, in your pitiful, pure heart. You couldn't tell them about the flames that were lit in your back by vandal lover boys, arsonists, and there were other flames. Adults said not to watch, but I watched, and the flames stayed with me, burning in my brain, a fire there forever. I lived with the flames my whole life. The Buddhist monks in Vietnam who burned themselves alive, they set themselves on fire to protest. They were calm. They sat themselves down, calm. They were simple, plain. They never showed any fear or hesitation. They were solemn. They said a prayer. They had kerosene. Then they were lit. Then they exploded into flame, and they burned forever in my heart, forever, past what television could show, and it's gray, and it's black, and white, and gray, and the gray cement of the gray Saigon, the gray robes of the gray man, a Buddhist, the gray fire consuming him. I don't need to close my eyes to see them. I could reach out to touch them. Without even closing my eyes, the television went off, for the adults turned it off, but you knew they were still burning. Now, later, hours, days, the ashes would smolder, the fire would never go out, because if it has happened, it has happened. It has happened always and forever. The gray fire would die down, and the gray monk would be charred and skeletal, dead. They'd remove him like so much garbage, but the fire would stay. Low along the ground, the gray fire would spread, low along the ground, gray in Saigon and gray Camden. The flames would stay low and gray, and they would burn an eternal fire, its meaning entrusted to a child for keeping. I think they stayed calm inside the fire, burning. I think they stayed quiet. I mourned them. I grieved for them. I felt some shadow of the pain. Maybe there was no calm. Maybe they shrieked. Maybe it was an agony obscene even to God. Imagine. I'd go to school on just some regular day, and it had happened at night on the news. They'd show it, the gray picture, a Buddhist in flames, because he didn't like the government in Vietnam, because the United States was hurting Vietnam. We tormented them. You'd see a plain street in Saigon, and suddenly a figure would ignite, a quiet, calm figure, simple in simple robes, rags almost, a plain, simple man